This dog was dying of thirst, but the river water was right in front of it, yet it couldn't drink a single drop of water. A heartless owner had it locked up tightly. It couldn't move at all. This poor dog could only quietly wait for death. But just as the dog was about to die, two kind boys discovered it. They immediately unfastened the chain. Before the dog could thank them, it rushed to the riverside. It finally drank its first life-saving gulp of water. After nearly dying, the dog began wandering again. It came to a small town. Suddenly, it saw a group of its own kind foraging by the garbage bins. It wanted to join their group, but a nearby one-fanged dog stared at it viciously. The dog didn't dare approach. Fortunately, their leader, a Chihuahua, was kind and successfully accepted this dog. It finally had its first full meal, led by this group of local dogs. This dog was soon liked by dog lovers. They all fed it from their own food. The dog also learned from One Fong how to scavenge for food in the garbage. It would never go hungry again, but happy times are always short. At night, all its companions returned to their owners. Only this dog had no home. Before, it had almost been killed by a vagrant. Now, it was hard to trust strange humans again before finding its true owner. This dog could only bid farewell to its companions and continue wandering. But the road home was more difficult than expected. Without realizing it, 2 winters passed. It was still alone, wandering in remote, mountainous areas. It couldn't find its way home. Worse yet, a pack of wolves had been eyeing this piece of meat. They had been following from a distance. The dog sensed danger approaching. Step by step, it was very afraid inside. It could only keep barking to mask the fear in its heart. That day, the dog smelled that dangerous scent again. The relentless wolf pack finally couldn't hold back and attacked it. They cornered the dog on a mountain full of cliffs. Facing the fierce wolves, the dog had no chance. But longing for its owner drove it not to sit and wait for death, so it barked loudly. It wanted to use its own momentum to drive the wolf pack away. But the wolf pack completely ignored this. They rushed forward to bite and tear at the dog. Soon it was covered in wounds. But just as the dog's life was in critical danger, the wolf pack suddenly stopped attacking. A fierce and muscular adult cougar was nearby, staring at them coldly. Before the wolf pack could react, the cougar jumped into their midst. It launched a fierce attack. Soon the wolf pack was driven away. The dog discovered this cougar was the kitten it had raised before, and it had grown into a big cat. They affectionately pressed their cheeks together. They kept nuzzling each other. Their expressions showed care and longing for each other. This lioness, behind her husband's back, had 4 cubs outside with a vagrant male lion. As the children gradually grew up, the pressure of raising 4 cubs alone made her make a bold decision. She would bring the children back to her former pride. However, this decision carried a deadly risk. Once the male lion discovered the cubs weren't his own bloodline, he would kill the cubs without hesitation. But the pressure of raising cubs and hunting left Callie with no choice. As she got closer and closer to the pride, Callie became increasingly nervous because she discovered her husband Safi was walking toward her with a gloomy expression. In the next second, he let out an angry roar toward the cubs. Callie understood in her heart. Her plan had failed. She could only protect the cubs behind her. At this moment, another male lion in the pride also pounced fiercely toward her. Facing the attack of 2 male lions, Callie could only flee in panic. Callie once again lived a vagrant life. Not eating for several days made her milk increasingly scarce. Facing the starving cubs, she had to immediately go out hunting to replenish her body's energy. 3 zebras that appeared on the grassland became her target. Callie quickly lowered her body to reach the optimal ambush position. The instant the zebra turned around, Callie suddenly sprang out and knocked down the prey to the ground before it could react. But before she could enjoy it, a group of hyenas were attracted by the smell of food. Then, its calls attracted the hyena pack. Large numbers of hyenas quickly gathered. Worse yet, they also discovered the hidden cubs. Seeing the cubs panicking, Callie was forced to abandon the prey she had just captured and left with the cubs. Having not eaten for a long time, she collapsed powerlessly on the ground. But the naive cubs still ran happily to their mother's side, greedily sucking the remaining milk. Callie's mood was very bitter. Yet fate didn't spare this pitiful mother. A buffalo herd in the distance discovered their figures. For the cubs, the massive buffaloes were undoubtedly like the Grim Reaper. The buffalo charged toward them without hesitation to nip these potential threats in the bud. Callie tried with all her might to block the buffalo's steps. But before these giants, her resistance seemed so feeble and powerless. Several buffaloes even chased after the cubs. Once caught by these big guys, Just one kick would kill a cub on the spot. Fortunately, 3 buffaloes chased for a while then stopped. Only then did the cubs narrowly escape disaster. Callie hurried forward to check on the children's safety, but an accident happened. There was one fewer cub. Callie anxiously called out, but never received a response from her child. For Callie at this moment, losing one cub was undoubtedly a fatal blow. 3 Parasaurolophuses were shivering in the heavy rain. One of them tried to squeeze next to the leader for warmth, but was mercilessly pushed away by its companion. In an era ruled by giant beasts, the Parasaurolophus was the undisputed ruler of the skies. They could avoid attacks from most predators, except for this unlucky one who flew too low. The attackers were a group of Gorgosauruses. They were close relatives of Tyrannosaurus rex, belonging to the same Tyrannosauridae family. Adult Gorgosauruses could grow to nearly 28 feet long, weighing about 2 tons. They had over 60 sharp teeth and could easily tear through prey's skin. Moreover, they had a keen sense of smell, sharp eyesight, usually hunted cooperatively in groups, and were the most dangerous predators on this land. After knocking down the Parasaurolophus, the leader suddenly noticed a large group of prey approaching from not far away. It was a large herd of Pachyrhinosaurus, Tyrannosaur family dinosaurs, all considered ceratopsians like Pachyrhinosaurus as ideal prey. When the herd sensed danger, the Gorgosauruses had already begun their charge. Panic erupted instantly, and the herd scattered in flight. But the Gorgosaurus pack had already formulated a plan. They deliberately frightened those on the edges, throwing the entire herd into chaos. They pushed and collided with each other. The herd was forced to move toward the riverbank, with nowhere to escape. They had no choice but to jump into the river, try to swim to the opposite shore. But once in the water, they could no longer stay together, and the predators were waiting for that exact moment. The hunt officially began. The Gorgosauruses picked out the young and weak Pachyrhinosauruses, pulled them away from the herd, then surrounded them. These smaller Pachyrhinosauruses had no way to fight back and could only protect their young with their bodies. As the Gorgosauruses closed in, they were pushed to the river's edge. Meanwhile, the Gorgosauruses launched their attack. The moment a companion was bitten, the frightened Pachyrhinosaurus rushed back to the herd. In the chaos, 3 young were pushed into the river and quickly swept away by the rushing current. Fortunately, they were washed up on a beach, but Patch quickly realized there was no food here. Just when all hope seemed lost, a group of giant beasts slowly emerged from the fog. They were a herd of Edmontosauruses, the largest hadrosaurs on this planet. At that time, if you couldn't find food, following these big guys was your best option. So the 3 homeless Pachyrhinosaurus young, they decided to follow the massive herd on their migration. But just after starting to move, Juniper collapsed on the beach from exhaustion. To protect the one it loved, Patch decided to stay with Juniper. It frantically called to its brother for help, but its heartless brother abandoned them. Worse yet, there were 2 exposed on the open beach, and 2 giant pteranodons swooped down from above. Patch and Juniper were about to face an even harsher battle for survival.